Welcome to onSodi.com.
This video lesson is an introduction of the basic workflow options to process a RAW file. There are many methods and approaches for efficient workflows. As we learn about RAW processing, we will expand the workflow guidelines and keeping with the stages of this course. Therefore, be sure to watch the additional workflow video lessons as you progress through this course. Workflow refers to the set of procedures we use to achieve a processed RAW file. Adobe Camera Raw, like all Adobe products, will offer to you a variety of different workflow options. Let us now have a look at some of the workflow options for processing RAW files. We strongly advise, for best results, prior to any processing, to set the Camera Raw preferences. See our video lesson on setting Camera Raw preferences. Once we have a RAW file open in the Camera Raw workspace, we can just simply click the default option by clicking the default button, and this sets everything to a 0 status. We are now looking at the file as it was originally photographed. Let us now have a look at some of the introductory workflow options for an overview on processing RAW files. There are 3 basic options, and the third option is the best one. The first workflow method is to use the auto function. If you do nothing to the RAW file, at least click the auto button at minimum. The auto function has changed this file's appearance, but it's not complete. You still need to make other adjustments to the file, even when using the auto option. We should reduce the exposure slider, as the image is now too bright, and slide that back to 0. The auto setting brings up the clipping warning icons on the histogram. A second method is to process the RAW file using only the histogram warning signs to determine image quality and data. Let's now set the white point of the file by dragging the white slider to the right-hand side until we introduce the clipping warning sign on the histogram, and then back it off. And then, do the same with the black slider to set the black point of the image, sliding it to the left-hand side until we introduce the clipping warning sign, and then back off the effect. I will reduce the exposure slider to darken the image. And the third method, which is the most recommended option of all, is to set the image data via the threshold method. I have already set the sliders for this file. Of the 3 options, the third option, the threshold method, is the most professional approach, but it takes some time and practice to learn. We will not cover the threshold method here, as it is extensively covered in our RAW processing video lessons, but we will show you the differences of the various workflows by using some saved snapshots. I will cycle through these saved snapshots to show the differences. The first snapshot is with Camera Raw set to default, and the image appears as it was photographed. The second snapshot is of the auto function, with the exposure reduced. The third snapshot is using the histogram clipping warnings only to set the image data. The final snapshot shows the threshold clipping method, which will always give us the best possible image data and pictorial control. I will cycle through these again. How to save and use snapshots is covered in our snapshots video lesson.